Hi everyone, so I thought it'd be about time I did another little update on the Pacific Steam Locomotive I'm making, and probably to reveal what it's actually going to be. It's still not quite finished yet, but I thought I would talk about the design of it today. I'm still tweaking the mechanics, but that's the subject for another video I think, so I'll just bring it in. There we go. So those people who know their steam locomotives, and I'm not the greatest expert on them, but those people who know will know that this is Mallard, which is Sir Nigel Gresley's world record setting steam locomotive. I'm fortunate enough to live near the National Railway Museum in the UK where Mallard is, so I've seen it quite a few times, me, my little boy and my little girl. We've had a look at it and got lots of photographs of it, we've got books about it and so on. And this was the locomotive that my brother-in-law said, right, you need to go and make one of these. So what I've been doing when I've made this, I've struggled a lot with the mechanics over it, getting the wheel arrangements to work as it goes around the corners, getting the gearing right for the motor, which I'm still not quite happy with. It's still a little bit slow for me, but as I said, I'll talk about that in another video. But what I wanted to do was, rather than try and create an absolute scale model of Mallard, was to try and make one which got its character across. So it's a bit more of a caricature of Mallard than a strict scale model of it. So that's what I've been trying to do, and some of the bits have been really quite challenging to do, so I'll take the camera off. So these bits around the front here, these fairings are really one of the most unique parts of it, about one of the most striking parts of these A4 class steam locomotives, and I wanted to get that right, which is really challenging in Lego. And I originally, when I started making this, I wanted to try and keep it 6 wide. But 6 wide and have all the driving rods and everything, and still have these streamlining fairing going over it would going to be really tricky. And I tried it 6 wide, tried various different ways to try and get these fairings closer in, but to have that nice swooping curve that comes down to past the cab there and be able to see the definition of it, that was just not possible in 6 wide. I really tried. So my compromise has been to do the front of the locomotive 8 wide, and then I've kind of cheated a bit. By the time you get to the back of the cab, it steps in and you go back down to being 6 wide. The reason of doing that is that then I can put the 6 wide carriages that we've got from the Hogwarts Express on the back. Don't need to make a whole new set of carriages, and then we've got a train. There's some other models I've seen that people have made, some great Mallard MOCs I've seen on YouTube. A really nice 6 wide one, I think by a guy called Isaac Smith. Hats off to him. And I want to try and just do it my own way, see how I could get about getting it right. So I was inspired by those models, but this is my own take on it. So there's a few things which I've done here to try and make it a bit special. One is Mallard has its whistle at the very front. A lot of steam locomotives have their whistles right back here at the cab. That wasn't possible on these locomotives, so they put them right at the front. So Mallard's got its whistle up there. The other thing is it's got these quite striking looking buffers at the front, which I've put on there. They're probably completely out of scale, but if I'd done them as 1 stud wide little discs, I think they would have looked too small. And I wanted to put these lamps on, which the one in the National Railway Museum has got. At some point in the future, I'm probably going to stick some lights in those, but not today. I wanted to get this this knife curve here, and actually use this round brick here to get that kind of cut in, and then over the top there, so we get that kind of swooshy sweep that Mallard has. I was very keen to make sure that we got this kind of running line that goes along here, and then it steps down and goes over where the cylinders are, which are underneath there. And this is a very significant thing that my little lad Thomas said, you've got to put that one on, Daddy, you've got to put that on. And this is the plaque which is on both sides of Mallard, which commemorates its world record setting run. So I've just got one of these little one round tiles on there to signify that. It's got its twin chimney as well. I've gone with the old power functions system for this, so we've got the receiver is inside the cab. The cab, I must say, I haven't finished yet. I've just done the outside of it, but inside, lift this out, you can see there's the receiver in there, and we've got a standby driver for the time being. He's got nothing to drive with because none of the controls are in there, but never mind. The other thing is that Mallard had this canopy that went all the way across. It was like a tarpaulin and then fastened down onto the tender. So obviously can't do that in Lego, but what I've done is kind of continue the roof line on this other black piece here to make it look like it does that. And the battery box is in here. We just lift this out. There's the battery box. And Mallard's tender is kind of divided in two, as they all were actually, where they've got coal here and then there's the access to the water tank at the back. And because it was one of these steam locomotives that was used on the express services between London and Scotland, between London and Edinburgh, it had a corridor tender, which meant that the train crew could change halfway through or more frequently through the journey. So that means we've got one of these kind of vestibule type things at the back here, and they always had a little round window there, the purpose of which is just to shed light on a little corridor that would go along here and let the train crew into the driving cab. So there we are. That's pretty much the look I wanted to get for Mallard, which I'm quite pleased with. It's a bit chunky, but as I say, it's more of a caricature, particularly with these huge great big things at the front here. And my next step is to try and tweak the mechanics really to get the gearing right such that it goes at a speed befitting a world record setting, a world record breaking steam locomotive. A couple of other bits that I just remembered I need to mention is that, and it's to do with mechanics actually, is that the motor is actually in the locomotive on this, and the reason that is because Mallard has this tender which has got 4 wheels on it, and I wanted to have a tender with 4 wheels on it, so I could have gone a more usual route and put the train motor underneath here and put the battery box on top, and now I'm still fighting with the mechanics of the motor. I'm really wishing I did, but nevertheless I went this route. We've got the 4 wheels there, which means that we've got the motor in here, so that's one of the particular things I wanted to make sure to get that kind of look of Mallard. And one last thing to say about this model as well is I want to add some stickers to it to get just enough stickers. Don't want to go overboard, but again, my little boy Thomas was very keen that Mallard has its numbers on it, so it needs to have L in the R here and 4468, and probably again the number here on the front, but that's it. That's all I'm going to do. So I'm going to get that right, get those on there, and just finish the look. So next video, hopefully about this, will be me talking about how I've managed to successfully solve the mechanics issues. Let's hope so anyway. For now, see you later.